Hi guys, so this is the start of the Kraken portfolio where I will be investing £100 into crypto every single month. So the idea of this portfolio is to simply build consistency and follow along a more realistic portfolio, especially amongst some of the ones that you find on YouTube. In terms of transparency, so I've been in crypto for about 5 years now, which is pretty short in terms of the time frame, but that does mean that I've experienced two bull runs. That's 2021 and sort of the run up from 2023 to last year in 2025. One of the things that I realized that I have actually been pretty behind on is tracking and documenting results. So this is something that, to be honest, is quite hindsight in my opinion. You tend to make the buys either on a mobile phone or application, and typically I'd been investing in the bear markets rather than sort of peak cycles. So by the time a bull market truly comes around, it leaves me wondering how much did I truly pay for it? What am I in profit? And obviously the euphoria of seeing how much your portfolio has grown by without actually knowing how much you paid for per each coin just sort of gives you a bit of blindness. You think that suddenly it's going to double up one more time, just putting you in a spot of more guesswork rather. So I just decided to build this. I just want to start off by saying I'm really not a professional. You shouldn't take everything I say as gospel, and I really won't be providing any sort of financial advice in these videos. Just do your own research. In terms of what I've decided to go for with the mega caps, that's your Bitcoin, ETH, Binance, and Solana, and they've been set to equal weighting. So in this case, it's £100 split across four. I kind of messed up with Binance because of the fees on Kraken. I went for Kraken because of the lower fees compared to something like Coinbase. In terms of weighting, I didn't want to give much variance, so I've been in Solana for quite a little bit, and obviously Solana and Ethereum do tend to compete. Solana acting more like an exchange now, but rather than trying to skew like something like the S&P would have weighted towards your mega cap, I decided if I want true diversification, I'm just going to split them to 25% each every single time that I buy every single month. I think when it comes to adding in and DCAing, that's a completely personal choice. Some people decide to invest everything all at once. I'm not personally like that, but at the same token, I'm not going to buy sort of every single week. If you prefer to capture more of the market sort of as it's going, regardless of where it's going, then you can sort of put in every week. Some people have done videos doing that daily. So again, that's just entirely a personal decision. So in terms of what £25 buys you, at about £59,000, it gives you 0.0004 Bitcoin. In terms of ETH, gives you about 0.014, Binance 0.05, and Solana sort of the highest because it's the cheapest coin, 0.366. So for now, we're just mainly looking at this, which is going to act as my purchase ledger. I'm going to keep on updating this every month, going to try and add the same exact buys. So it'll be 25% in Bitcoin, 25% in Ethereum, 25% in Binance, and 25% in Solana. I'm sort of humming and hawing about adding in sort of, I wouldn't say my own personal buys, but when other coins start looking cheap, I think I will keep the same split for Bitcoin, ETH, BNB, and Solana, but then maybe add that as a separate column whenever there's another altcoin. I haven't decided to go into the micro and the medium cap alts solely for the risk in bear markets. You might be thinking, why is there no XRP? Why is there no Cardano? Why is there, there's no ADA? So full transparency, this is, as you might imagine, this isn't the only portfolio. It's not the only place where I hold crypto. there's various other exchanges and other wallets that they're kept on. I've got exposure in other areas for Cardano and XRP. Just purely interested in how do the top four, which, either they get their own ETFs, they're already in ETFs, how do those perform? Because in my eyes, we have been starting to see a little bit more of a disparity between the micro cap, extra mini cap alts versus sort of the top performers. So I'm very confident in these ones. And then obviously the £100 monthly, choose a figure that isn't going to break the bank. And that's always it with crypto. I think a lot of people think it's get rich quick. A lot of people think it's to the moon. And especially when you're mid-peak bull run, everybody's super excited about it. The idea for this is purely buy and hold, just have sensible risk management, risk tolerance, and if it all went to zero anyway, you just kind of wouldn't be in a pickle. Moving on to the right though, in terms of total value, sat at £102, 17p. Nothing to write home about. I mean, that's kind of, if anything, it's a little bit of a shame it's actually moved in the upwards direction. I mean, it's okay. We'll see. We've got another month now until we buy again. But ideally, this is sort of the accumulation phase, especially during the bear. Some people might disagree that it's a bear. Fees, 40p. I personally don't consider that to be too bad. What Coinbase offers, it's a fair bit higher. Say, for example, if this had been Coinbase, if they do a 1.5%, maybe even 3%, number one, that will already wipe out the percentage that we gained. It'd be between £1.50 and £3, which, don't get me wrong, it's a very convenient and great platform to use. Again, I still hold some coins on there, but in terms of the fees, I mean, 40p, it's not bad at all. Hardly any risk at the moment, considering how far this has dropped since, January of 2025. Even we're talking like summer last year as well. Good to see that there are 4 winners and 0 losers, off to a pretty good start. There's not that much to report on about this, but yeah, just thought I'd make a little video on